Previously on the War on Morons.
Oh, I'm just gonna say it. Liberal big city mayors. You know, they think that they're frickin' dictators. They think they can push these boneheaded, idiotic policies. And then you see entire states, you know, all the blue state governors, they're complete morons. They're trying to fundamentally destroy the country.
That's it! That's it! I've had quite enough of your nonsense! That's it! You are showing much too much right-wing bias in the broadcast lately!
Penelope, for one, you know we're in the middle of a show right now. What are you doing busting into the studio?
I'm the network censor here, and I will not be a party to you airing Nazi radio!
Nazi radio?
What are you talking about?
Where are we saying Nazi? You're the Nazi. You're trying to take us off the air?
You don't believe me? Here's the paperwork. The fairness doctrine. You need to give equal time to an opposing viewpoint, or I'll have you hauled away in chains. Now it's time for you to make way for an opposing viewpoint, a better viewpoint, a more fair and humane viewpoint. So if you know what's good for you and you don't want me to call the police, you'll step outside the studio and let us have our time.
And now, The Liberal Show with Pam and Sam.
Hello, hi. Welcome to The Liberal Show with Pam and Sam. That's me, I'm Sam. I'm a non-binary feminist intercity community activist working remotely out of Boulder, Colorado.
And I'm Pam. I'm an asexual, genderqueer, and 3-time middle school teacher of the year in Santa Cruz, California.
Ooh, that's very nice, Pam. I didn't know that you won the 3rd teacher of the year. That's really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, but after this episode, I bet they're going to give you number 4. They're not going to have much of a choice.
Oh, that's nice of you to say, Sam.
Yeah, because, you know, we've done something very groundbreaking here. We've taken something very hateful off the air. So if you were expecting it says here episode 30, but I feel like it was episode 4,000 or 5,000 of the War on Morons.
AKA Nazi radio.
Ooh. If you were expecting that, we've got some really bad news for you.
That's right. Thanks to our good friend Penelope Cluxton at the network, we're taking over the time slot from now on.
We're taking over, so no more ableist right-wing propaganda.
No more homophobic hate speech.
No more racist patriarchal aggression.
That's right. From now on, we'll be presenting the news of the week from a fair, balanced, left-wing, intersectional feminist perspective.
Yeah, you know, we'll still give you, you bigots, the same offbeat stories that you like, and the mentally challenged criminal news and Florida person headlines that you're used to, but we're going to do it without the cisgender bias.
Now, we've also taken over the phone line, so feel free to call our call-in line at 813-906-9099 to share your thoughts with us and give commentary on the latest headlines.
Yes, but please remember, before you dial, think, is it going to make us smile? Because if you have a hateful speech or hateful thoughts, or if you're going to say anything that would be offensive, just don't call us, okay?
That's right. We won't put up with that at all.
Oh.
Now, without further ado, let's get to this week's articles.
Okay. So the first one I have here is really delightful. So there was a woman who illegally entered Yellowstone National Park. She was probably looking for Yogi Bear. but she didn't find him because she fell into a hot spring while she was taking pictures, and she suffered burns.
No, see, Sam, I can understand the schadenfreude of that situation, but I don't think there's anything funny about this story at all. I mean, it goes against everything we were taught as nature lovers. I mean, We're always taught, leave no trace. I mean, think of the way she contaminated that beautiful natural site with her skin and her body oils, all because she couldn't respect the stay-at-home orders and park closures.
Yeah, Pam, but see, that's why I'm smiling, and that's that's the reason that I thought that this was a funny story, because this was one of those people that thinks that they can violate the stay-at-home order, and when you leave your house, this is what's going to happen to you.
That's right. We have to respect the balance of our government and the balance of nature.
Ooh, I think our government, our government is nature. Because if you don't do what they say, you'll find yourself. What?
Okay, I think we're in. I think we jammed their signal.
Oh, thank God. All right. Of course, this is Jay. This is Anisa, the real host of this broadcast. We just want you to know we're not going to let these idiots take over our time slot.
That's right. The war on morons will commence. We have a plan to get back on the air tonight.
By the end of this show, we're going to be back. We have a plan.
Well, I just don't know what that was. I think we're back on the air.
I mean, the signal, it just jammed. I couldn't hear anything. But it says we're live.
Well, maybe we should just go on to our next story then.
Okay. We're sorry for that. I think I know what it was.
Really?
Well, we're not going to say his name, but he's an orange bastard.
Oh, I bet you're right, Sam.
Yeah, he wouldn't want us to be speaking the truth.
Well, speaking of people with a death wish, a Kentucky woman was caught on video shopping with a hole cut in the middle of her protective mask, which she claimed made it easier to breathe. Now, this woman is a great example of what we would call a Karen, a heterosexual, middle-aged white woman who feels entitled to break the rules just because it's easier for her.
I'd bet $1 million that she voted for that orange bastard. She voted for Trump.
Why would you say his name?
Because I want him to know that you can't censor us. We've got friends in high places, and I'm not just talking about Penelope Cruxton.
Well, look.
That Trump is a...
Oh, don't say it. While we're on the subject of selfish perverts from Florida, a Florida person with a penis also claimed they needed more air when they were arrested for exposing themselves to women while they were driving.
Okay.
They claimed it was hot and their penis needed to air out.
So they were pulling out their penis while they were driving down the road?
Right.
Okay, I'm not sure how I should feel about this one, because I saw the article and it didn't say how this person identifies.
Well, expand further on that for me.
Well, because see, the way I see this article is this may have been a trans woman who was showing their penis, and in that case, I think this is a good article. Because that would be a very valid expression of their gender identity.
Well, Sam, I've done some digging, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's the case.
Oh, no.
I didn't want to upset you, but it appears that the Florida person in this story was a cis man.
Man? Rapist.
I knew you would be upset.
Lock him up.
Okay, Sam, calm down. Calm down. The police handled it.
Oh, I hope they killed
got him
him.
Off the street.
I hope they executed him.
After that horrifying story, we need a palate cleanser.
Oh, nothing could cleanse my palate enough after hearing those words.
Well, we do have some feel-good news.
Oh, okay.
In my wonderful home state of California, the police shoved and arrested Mother's Day diners at a Fresno waffle shop.
That sounds nice.
Normally, I speak out against police brutality, but in this case, it was more than justified, as these diners were attempting to patronize an illegally operating diner that should have been abiding the shutdown order.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, having animosity toward the police, that's very, very passe. That's no longer, how we feel and what we can stand for. Because if it weren't for, the police, who would stop these capitalist murderers from opening their business and spreading their disease?
That's right. We have to support the police in this day and age. They're our only hope at keeping the capitalists in check.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, I'm so excited. The telephone's ringing.
Ooh, I hope it's a friend of ours or...
Yes. It's a friend. It says they're calling from California.
Wonderful.
Yeah, 310 area code.
Oh, good. Okay, let's pick it up and see who it is. Hello, caller. Tell us your name and how you identify.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
Awesome. Like, I'm out on this beach. It's kind of like, it's windy and stuff. It's SoCal Surfer, man. I wanted to call and, follow up, make sure that, everything went smooth,
Follow up? I'm sorry, I'm not following you there.
Well, I'm the SoCal Surfer, I'm one of the gang. You guys play our commercial before the show, right? Like the DSA?
Oh, I don't think we played a commercial yet.
No, you're supposed to play. It's a public service announcement. It tells everybody what we're doing, for the West Coast, and keep everybody safe and everything. Penelope, worked it out with the captain and the technician. The technician, right? The technician.
No, I know Penelope,
the
but...
little, nerdy dude, he would have... never mind, man. We'll figure all that out. I also wanted to kind of, chime in, because, you were talking about the police and everything a minute ago, right?
Yes, we were talking about how they're doing a very important job keeping everyone safe.
Yeah, the police, they're cool and everything, man, but, they can't do everything. So, that's where we come in. I'm just one out of, there's so many of us now, but, we're citizens, and we help keep the other citizens safe. So, my territory is, on the water, bro. The beaches, the pier, the beaches, basically anywhere there's water, they call me in, and I just make sure that people are, not spreading the virus, dude, because, there's a corona going on right now. It's not cool.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that you're getting involved and spreading the word that people need to, stay home and not be out and spreading diseases.
Ding, 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 fucking A, dude, exactly. That's my number one goal, and, the whole gang of good people, the number one goal is that nobody on the whole West Coast ever gets sick again. So what I'm doing right now, how I'm helping, make that reality is I'm at Manhattan Beach. Because, maybe you don't know, you probably know, you're up in Santa Cruz, but down here in LA County, they just opened up the beaches. But all these people don't understand, it's not just for everybody. There's, rules. So, number one, most important rule, the easiest rule for me to enforce is they open the beaches for recreation, dude. It's for exercise. If you want to go surfing, if you want to go boogie boarding, that is cool, man. You're not going to get the corona. But if you're out here, just lounging around, like, trying to catch a tan. I'm gonna cave your skull in, dude, and I'm gonna send you right back home.
Well, I think that sounds perfectly reasonable. Yeah.
Here, listen. Like, I'm gonna let you listen because there's actually I've been scoping this dude out for like 5 minutes now, and he's just been lying there on like a beach towel, and like, he doesn't even have a board with him, dude. So I'm just gonna take him out. So hold on. I'm gonna go up to him. Hey, brother. Hey, what's up, dude? Hey, don't touch me. Don't touch me, dude. You look like a spreader. But I just kind of wanted to say, like, nice man, dude. Like, you working on, like, getting some color, or, like, yeah, exactly, bro. Like, they opened up the beach, right? Am I right? No, I'm fucking wrong. Fuck you. Fucking asshole, you got blood all over my surfboard, dude. I hate when they make me do that. Like, I don't want to be violent, but he just made me beat him up, like, really bad. And there's blood on the sand. There's blood on my board, dude. Like, I knocked him in good. Like, I don't think he's gonna be moving for a while. So
I just don't see any other way for these people to learn. They knew they were taking a risk when they went outside.
Yeah, I mean, that's his problem is, he didn't want to move. Like, so now I made sure that he can't. I knocked him out. I beat the shit out of him with this surfboard, but next time he's thinking about violating, like, staying home, he's going to remember how this felt, when the SoCal surfer, left him in a pile of blood at Manhattan Beach,
Well, thank you so much for your service, and thank you for calling in.
Right on, dude.
Gosh, I just have to say, I really do feel so much safer knowing that there are people like that out there on the streets, making sure that we're all staying safe and healthy and following the rules.
Yeah, there's actually a whole bunch of them. They're doing the work that needs to be done, because a lot of people don't understand that, their rights end as soon as they leave their home.
Once you're out in public, we have to consider the good of everyone, not just you.
Right. If you don't, violate, the governor's orders, then you won't get hurt.
Right.
Now, I thought I played it earlier. I didn't play the recording that they sent in.
No.
I was so excited to do the liberal show today. I forgot. They sent us this recording here. I'm going to cue it up now, okay?
Oh, I'm very excited to hear this, yes.
All right, here we go.
It is I, the Steel City Enforcer, proud purveyor of progressive justice from Pittsburgh, PA to all points beyond. Introducing our newest allies in the fight against the spreaders, the West Coast Gang of Good Guys.
That's Gang of Good People to you, mansplainer. The name's Captain Hollywood, and here in La La Land, I'm in control.
Damn straight, Cap. That's why I'm like combing the beaches of Malibu, dude. Like, if you leave your house, we're totally gonna, like, oh yeah. I'm the SoCal surfer.
They call me the technician. From my high-tech fortress in the impenetrable Silicon Valley, I'm keeping tabs on everything you think, everything you say, and everything you do. Usually before you even do it.
And I'm the Frisco Kid. You might call me a San Francisco cowboy. And honey, you better watch your mouth or we'll lick your ass. What, dude? Lick their ass?
Watch the judgment, breeder. Remember who the enemy is.
Them, the people!
If you know of any non-essentials violating orders by operating businesses of any kind,
congregating in groups of 2 or more people, or leaving their homes for any reason whatsoever, call the Gang of Good Persons snitch line immediately at 1-800-33-I-OBEY.
That was really lovely. I'm glad that we played it.
Oh, yes, I'm so glad that Penelope set that up for us.
Yes, yes. You know, everyone listening, I really, I can't implore you enough that it's necessary to call 1-800-33-I-OBEY. If you don't know of anyone who is violating the stay-at-home orders, find someone who is, because we've got to take these people off the streets.
Yes, that's right. If you see somebody, walking their dog or going shopping.
They're taking their child to the park.
Or not wearing a mask.
Oh, if you see, that's tantamount to murder.
It really is. So be sure to use the Gang of Good Persons as a resource to keep us safe.
Yes, yes. Anyway, I think we have some really great stories to follow up with from that commercial. So the first story is out of Detroit, Michigan, where there was a priest who, get this, he used a holy water squirt gun to quote, I'm doing hand quotes, to bless his parishioners. He was shooting them with a squirt gun.
Sam, I'm sure I don't have to tell you again, I don't support the closed-minded Catholic Church, and this story just further proves my point. I mean, here is a rich, cis, white man not shutting down his church, using a gun to shoot at people. I mean, that's an act of violence, all in the name of his oppressive religion.
And I just can't believe this is happening in Michigan. We're probably the greatest governor in this country. She's done such a great job at shutting down oppression and shutting down capitalism and shutting down hateful businesses. Why are the churches even allowed to have their doors open?
It's a good question, and it bears asking.
I was thinking she would be a wonderful pick for future President Joe Biden as his vice president. But
I love that idea.
If she doesn't shut this and every other church down and jail the priests.
They should. You're right.
Yeah. There is... I have a joke. I would
love to hear it.
What's the best thing about the priest staying 6 feet away because of social distancing?
What?
He can't molest you.
Those cis white men, they just can't wait to grab people in inappropriate places, and it's just best to stay as far away from them as possible.
This is the squirt gun is his only way to rape in the era of social distancing.
Amen.
Yes.
While we're on the subject of people who just don't get it, a woman holding a "We Are Free" sign was arrested on Miami Beach.
Well, that's where you're wrong, idiot.
Right? This woman and her husband were attending a protest when she decided to sit on the beach, which had been closed off, to make a statement. Now, kudos to the officers who got this dangerous biohazard off the streets.
Yes, she's free to go to jail where she belongs.
Absolutely. And speaking of idiots, this next story is about the military.
They're all idiots. If you're in the military, you, for one, that does not make you more of a man. It makes you more of a fool.
Absolutely, and in Canada, I'm really surprised to see this story come out of Canada, because when I think of our great neighbors to the north, I think of a lot of really progressive and wonderful thoughts come out of their country, but...
Truly superior.
But they do apparently have an armed forces and an air force. So there was a snowbird plane that was participating in a cross-country tour to boost the morale of the quarantined population, but it crashed into a civilian's home.
Well, I would say that goes to show that nothing good ever comes from militant force, but I think they really did boost the morale of Canadians everywhere because the plane crashed.
Right. This should really be taken as a sign that they need to just shut the entire armed forces down. They don't need it. Peace is the only answer.
Correct. There's one more story, and, I think it's probably our best story of the week, because this is about a person who was an idiot, who was hateful, who I would say was a Nazi. But has been re-educated and has been rehabilitated from his mental deficiencies. And do you know how he was able to change?
Oh, I would love to know how he did it.
Yes, he contracted coronavirus. Yes.
He contracted coronavirus?
Yes, and that taught him the error of his ways. So this is a man, he lives in Jupiter, Florida, and he was skeptical that COVID-19 is a real threat. And he questioned it, and he was quite vocal, saying he thought it's overblown.
Unbelievable.
And then he caught it himself, as he deserved.
Serves him right.
Yes, and now he's encouraging the public to take this virus seriously.
Finally, a feel-good story. Finally, something that we can cling to in these times and say, this is why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah. He thought, before he was awakened, he said he thought that God would help him through. But it turns out that it was not God. It was government, and it was our front-line workers who saved his ungrateful ass.
Well, I think we do have to, forgive him for the error of his ways, since he is now doing his part to re-educate the community around him. I mean, we don't want to discourage him. He's on the right path now.
Correct. But if you're on the wrong path, just think, next time, you won't be as lucky.
Sam, this story actually reminds me, I was writing a song the other day.
Ooh, I love your songs.
Yes, thank you. I know you're a fan, and, these COVID deniers, I think, actually, this song would make a really great cap to tonight's show. What do you say?
Oh, yes. Pick up your guitar and play.
Wonderful. Here we go. The Night Stalker killed 20. John Wayne Gacy, 34. Ted Bundy murdered 35, or maybe 60 more. The son of Sam got 6. The Green River Killer, 72. But none of them were half as bad as you. Bad as you. Because if you don't wear a mask, you're a killer, spreading your invisible disease. You're nothing but a selfish evil killer. You murder everyone you ever meet. Dahmer got just 16, but he savored every bite. BTK took 10 lives, who thankfully were white.
Stop that music!
Who is that?
Hold on, I'll get the door. I'm sorry they interrupted your song. I don't know what's going on here.
Okay,
Hold on, we're coming. Hold on.
It appears that we have someone at the door in the studio. Sam is going to go see who it is.
Oh, Hello. Hi, it's the Steel City.
It is I, the Steel City Enforcer.
Yes, hi. I'm Sam. This is the Liberal Show.
Is this your domicile? We have a report of suspicious activity, of congregation, of people meeting for non-essential activity.
Oh, no, it's cool, man. We're here, we're recording a podcast.
That's not essential!
Oh my god, he just punched Sam.
Indeed I did. Now, ma'am, I was acting on a tip that we received to the Gang of Good Guys snitch line, and it stated that someone here was operating a non-essential business.
We're not operating a business. We're simply here hosting a free-thinking, liberal.
Did you say free thinking? I'm afraid I'm going to have to tase you.
Oh no!
All right. Now this has been cleaned up. I'm going to take these two non-essentials and bring them somewhere dark and quiet.
Wow, I can't believe that worked.
Oh my god. Yeah, their response time on that snitch line's surprisingly swift, I guess you could say.
Whew, well, I guess the coast is clear, and looks like we still have some time left on the clock.
Yeah, so let's finally kick it off. So, welcome to episode 30 of the War on Morons. I'm Jay.
I'm Anisa, and as always, we want to say thank you to our listeners, not only for tuning in, but for supporting us when we got kicked off the air last week.
Yeah, we're so sorry that you had to listen to those two nut jobs droning on for as long as they did. I honestly can't believe that you stuck around. but we can make sure that won't happen again. And if you're not yet a subscriber, this is the best time ever to make sure that you check out our YouTube channel or our RSS feed, where you can catch our shows up to 3 days in advance at thewaronmorons.podbean.com.
That's right. Now let's dive into our final block of stories for the night. A Florida man jumped into a canal to avoid getting arrested after a traffic stop. Now, if you know Florida, you already know this was a bad idea. I mean, we've got gators, we've got otters, we've got water moccasins. Nasty shit lives in the canals, and you do not want to go swimming in them.
Yeah, this guy, he found out it wasn't worth it when he got to the other side of the canal because he was immediately caught and arrested.
I mean, that's the other thing about canals. There's really, nowhere you can go. You're going to come out on the other side.
They're going to be waiting for you.
Speaking of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, one Staffordshire couple just couldn't wait and decided to get it on the train tracks.
Okay.
Luckily, they were spotted by a startled train driver, and after nearly being run over and killed by a train, they decided to, hitch up their pants and take a run for it.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, who could even have foreseen that as a possibility?
Yeah, who could have thought if you start having sex on the train tracks, a train might come and run you over?
That's probably what they were going for. They're into the danger. Anyway, moving on.
In political news, stimulus checks have been sent to dead people. Now, the IRS has released instructions for how to return the money.
Wait, to the dead people?
Yeah, they sent it to dead people, and now they want dead people to return it.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, they're putting a lot of faith in our dead.
Well, I'm just surprised that the government sent stimulus checks out to dead people in the first place. I mean, you got to wonder about these Democrats. I mean, the people are already dead. They're going to vote for you. You don't have to bribe them.
Ay. Back to the world of the living. In South Carolina, a restaurant is using blow-up dolls to help with social distancing.
What?
This brave, innovative restaurant called Open Hearth is ensuring that social distancing guidelines are followed by blocking tables off using blow-up dolls to fill in as patrons.
I think that would keep me a good 6 feet or more away from that restaurant.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, that is not exactly a fun or family-friendly way to, seat your restaurant. I mean, talk about a post-apocalyptic experience. That's just creepy as fuck.
Did they just have them lying around? Like, does the owner of this restaurant, does he just have, like, dozens of freaking sex dolls, you know, in the back between the, you know, the shelf-stable foods?
God, can you imagine? That's like a sexual harassment suit for the employees.
Well, I'm guessing they at least dress them, you know.
Ay, ay, ay. And they're not the only forward thinkers using this strategy, believe it or not. I mean, in South Korea, all the way in South Korea, we've gone from South Carolina to South Korea.
Okay.
Soccer teams are fined for filling their empty stands with sex dolls.
You know, I heard Vince McMahon was thinking about using this for WWE.
I'm not surprised to hear that at all.
Before the coronavirus.
Oh, no!
Just for Friday Night SmackDown.
Oh, no.
Oh, hey, looks like we're getting a call. Hell, we got some time left, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's pick it up.
All right, hello, caller. Why don't you tell us your name and where you're calling from?
Hey, it's Chuck Chickaree. How you doing?
Hey, Chuck, we're doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fucking terrible, to be honest with you, but I gotta tell you, I feel good for you guys. You got those 2 fruitcakes off of your show. What the hell is going on with that?
Oh, my God, I know.
God, you know, I wish I could do the same thing in my life. You know, ever since this fucking lockdown, shutdown, whatever they want to call it, everything's gone tits up for me. You know, obviously, you know who I am. You know, I'm a professional mascot, probably the best mascot in baseball. For 15, 20 years, I've been the chickadee for the Chicopee Chickadees. And then they shut baseball down. I don't have any kind of income coming in. I'm not allowed to be around crowds. I can't do autograph signings. I'm fucking running dry. I don't have any money. I'm still down here in Florida. You know, I got stranded down here after spring training, and this is, it's killing me. You know, it's killing me. And then you read a story and you're telling me that they got fucking, what do you say, soccer games?
Yeah, that's right.
In China or something?
In South Korea.
Oh my God, and they don't have anybody in the crowd because they fill it up with fucking blow-up dolls?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Jesus, they put like fucking 10,000, 20,000 blow-up dolls. They filled the stadium with blow-up dolls instead of putting people in there. Do you know what that means for me as a mascot?
Well, I can't imagine you're signing autographs for blow-up dolls.
Exactly. I can't do anything for a blow-up doll. You know, nothing I could do in a stadium, in an arena, nothing that would put any money in my pocket. So they're not going to have me there. They're not going to get a mascot. They're probably going to replace me with the blow-up doll. You know, I got to tell you, if they bring this to America, you know, cause I hear baseball, I hear it's going to finally come back, you know, next month. I hear it's finally coming back. I tell you, if they do this shit in America, I'm going to drive to Boston. I'm going to go to fucking Fenway. I'm going to sneak into the stadium. I'm going to bring a big needle. I'm going to pop every single one of those fucking blow-up dolls. And you're just going to be watching the Fox game, and you're just going to hear pop, pop, pop. I'm just going to be popping all the blow-up dolls. You're going to see me, Chuck Chickaree in my bird suit. I just can't do this.
Chuck, I think you misunderstood this story. I mean, nobody said anything about doing this in Boston, and they certainly didn't have 20,000 blow-up dolls. I mean...
Oh, look, it doesn't matter how many they had. It's just the fact that they even thought this up as a concept. I mean, it's only a matter of time. You know, it's only a matter of time. They've been looking to replace me. They've been looking to replace the whole mascot profession for a very long time. Ever since my friend Benny the Bull in Chicago, they replaced him with a balloon. But you know, I'm losing it here. I'm losing it. But I'm going to tell you right now, if they ever do this in America, I'm not just going to pop them. That's wasteful. I'm going to go behind home plate. You're going to see a sea of blow-up dolls, and you're not going to see any people except for one man. And one man is me, Chuck Chickaree. And I'm going to be wearing my bird suit. Except from the waist down, I'm not going to be wearing anything.
Oh, my God.
And I'm going to be on national TV, humping each and every one of them blow-up dolls.
Oh! Chuck!
When they ask me, they say, why, Chuck? Why'd you fuck a blow-up doll at the Red Sox game? I'm going to say, because I got a message for the kids out there. And
That's enough. Okay, goodbye, Chuck. That man needs to be medicated.
No, what? Like, I mean, he's getting worse. Every single time he calls,
I'm telling you, he needs professional help.
He needs to be in a straitjacket.
He is a hazard. Okay,
I was excited that we got our show back, but I think we should kind of end it on that note. We gotta regroup.
Yeah, I really forgot about the psychopaths that call in. Wasn't expecting to hear from Chuck today, that's for sure. Let's just call it a day. We got the show back. We'll come back next week. We'll do a normal show.
Yeah, normal show. Stay safe out there, everybody. Don't get yourselves in the headlines, because if you do, well, this might be you.
Have a good one, everybody.